The second one we're going to look at involved Tua Tagovailoa in two incidents actually. The first being just over a week ago in their Week 3 matchup against the Buffalo Bills. He took a push to the chest, fell backward, looks fairly innocuous, but you can see that his head rocks back and he makes contact with the turf. He gets up looking a little bit unsure and then he collapses. And that's where you can see one of the things that we observe and look for, any sort of gait difficulty or gait disturbance. And here we have the medical team running out to him straight away. Head injury, obvious concussion, in my opinion, and should not be returning to the field of play. But interestingly, doing a bit more research, we can see it's maybe not as cut and dried as it should be. Some of the concussion protocol resources show that gross motor instability is one of the no-goes. Then you do not return to play. It doesn't matter what the other tests later on in the concussion assessment show, you do not return to play. But of course Tua did. But if you notice there's an asterisk next to gross motor instability here, and if we zoom in below, we can see that actually this has to be decided upon by the on-duty physician, that it was actually caused by something neurological. And looking deeper into the material, we see that it's a strange situation where orthopedic causes have to be ruled out and neuro causes have to be ruled in. It should just be, in my opinion anyway, you've seen someone with a potential gross motor instability and you remove them from the field of play. And maybe this is why the physician on duty decided that Tua could go back in, because they felt that it was more of an orthopedic issue rather than a neurological one, which is perhaps why they gave him the injury designation for the following week leading up to the Cincinnati Bengals game in Week 4 of a back injury, because this then gave them reason to not put him into the concussion protocol because they felt that the motor instability had been caused by an orthopedic problem. When we got to Week 4, on their short week, they played Cincinnati, we saw that this happened. So Tua under center, rolls out left, gets caught, bam, hits the turf real hard there. And we can see that he started to go spasmodic in the hands. We can see that he started to get like a tonic reaction in his hands. Characteristic of concussion type problems. The concern was that Tua had suffered second impact syndrome, which is quite rare but can be at worst case fatal. Hopefully he's through the worst of that and he'll get assessed in the hospital. He was taken away on a spine board with his neck secured in order to rule out any chance of neck injuries or spinal injuries, because we don't know if Tua was conscious or not at the time for the medical staff to check that fully. But it was quite a horrific experience, I think, for obviously all of those in the stadium, for Tua himself and for those watching as well. I think we'll have a big overreaction now, which is not a bad thing. To any player that has concussion, I think they'll be doubly sure that they pass any concussion protocols. Probably not so much for the player welfare, unfortunately, but more so that they don't get any bad publicity. So I think we've still got a way to go clearly until teams or sports teams and coaches put the player first and the match result second. But that's just my opinion. That's how I see it, and we'll see you in the next video. Thank you. Bye-bye.